welcome back to Gatey's Win More, Lots More. Presented by Batavia Downs Gaming Hotel. And the Buffalo Sabres lose tonight in overtime to the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-3. A game that I am split on how I'm feeling. It really is stretching the human emotion, human experience right now, where Sabres got 3 or 4 on this Florida road trip. Back-to-back nights, might I add, where they had, scary thoughts. None of us would have expected the Sabres to get 3 or 4 where they were, at the start of the Florida Panthers game. But they get 3 or 4. That's a great sign. I would take that 10 times out of 10 coming into this week, or this 2-game stretch. I would take that 10 times out of 10. There's a part of me, kind of a big part right now, that's like, they could have easily gotten 4 or 4, and I don't even know if easily is the right word, because it's not like the Sabres absolutely dominated this game, but they had the game in their hands. It was right here. But they let it go away. They had a lead with under 30 seconds to go in the third period, and they gave up the game-tying goal. They got 15 seconds left in overtime, let's say 20 seconds. They gave up the goal. They had it here, and it was costly mistakes that led them to this point. Where, I'm going to give them credit. They battled. They fought all game. This felt like a playoff game. Like, I'm not mad with the Sabres' performance because they went, toe-to-toe. They were throwing haymakers left and right. It was a slobber knocker, to quote the great JR, of an overtime. But it's tough to see because, as this team continues to do well, to do better, we keep pushing those goalposts farther and farther and farther, like we say each game. I think the expectation of what they can be and who they are, I think also rises. And that's the point of moving those goalposts, where the Sabres team, if they get to the postseason, which, they're on track for, it feels like it could be the time. Could happen. You can't afford to lose a game like that against a Tampa Bay Lightning team who, you could very likely face in that first round of the playoffs. You look at, the Carolina game as well, another incredible back-and-forth game that just had that energy and passion. Another team the Sabres could match up with. They can't get wins in either of those outings. I guess that's why you play, it's a best of 4 in that situation. But getting that point tonight, that extra one, getting all 4 on this road trip would have been cementing of we have never been more back ever. But they get 3 or 4 tonight. And let's talk about this game because Colton Ellis stood on his head. Truly. Every time he's in the net, it feels like he just does his job. He makes the saves when he has to. There's obviously, some rebound concerns. The Sabres bail him out from time to time. There's a lot of oh my God, close chances where the puck somehow doesn't go in for Tampa, but it doesn't go in. The Sabres, I feel like, rally around him at times. They didn't pick him up at the end. But he stopped 31 of 35. And you take out the overtime goal and the one, with 25 seconds to go in the third. It goes from stopping 31 of 35 to that's a much better outing where he's holding the Tampa Bay Lightning to 2 goals. It's crazy, and it sucks, but the crazy part is, too, this is another Sabres outing where they're getting great goaltending. Another Sabres outing as well where they give up the first goal in the game, and it's like, uh-oh, things are falling apart in some capacity. So the Sabres give up the first goal halfway through the first period, and it just feels like that's how things are. They're going to give up that goal, they're going to battle back in the first, and they're going to have a great game the rest of the way. This first goal they give up is so weird because Rasmus Dahlin breaks his stick. Jason Zucker, good vet, he's the winger, he gives his stick to Rasmus Dahlin, good call. I'd rather have Dahlin with a stick, my superstar defenseman, just defenseman in general, over my right winger. Good. The only issue is Dahlin is given the puck. Zucker goes off for a change, so it's basically a 5-on-4 at this point. Dahlin has the puck in the slot on his stick, on Zucker's stick basically, and fans on it, goes right to the stick of the Tampa Bay player, finds the back net. Just unfortunate right there. You look at bounces, you look at luck, chances created. You can't outwork that chance happening against where you break your stick, which sucks. Sabres broke a lot of sticks tonight. I have no stats to back that up because I don't think anyone keeps track of that. They broke a lot of sticks tonight, it felt like. And yeah, he gets Zucker, and Zucker is 4 inches shorter than Dahlin. I know that is a large, distance. But Dahlin's not able to handle it, ends up back in the net. The good thing is, though, none of us, not me, certainly not you, are going to be doubting the Buffalo Sabres when they're down 1-0 in the first period. They proved time and time again they're not going to just roll over and die against a team, especially in a big game like this on the road in Tampa Bay, the team that's in first place in the Atlantic, because the man of the hour, the man of the night, Michael Samuelsson. Yes, if you didn't watch the game, Mattias Samuelsson obviously scored. Beauty of a first goal for the Sabres, where it happens. Great forecheck by Beck Malenstein, the fourth line. They work to create a turnover off of a dump, and Sabres creating chances off of transition. This one comes a little bit of zone time where they create that turnover. They get the puck to Samuelsson, who walks down the boards. He has time and space, and we've seen what 23 has done with time and space throughout the course of the season. He is automatic. If he can, I've used the expression before, charge up his shot, he scores every single time. And it happened here. But he's able to walk down the wall, even fumbling the puck, and has this time because the Sabres have great net front presence by Tyson Kozak and Beck Malenstein. They have two guys going hard to the net. That keeps those defensemen sucked in. Now, and you also have Konsta and Rasmus Dahlin up top as well, creating space for options. This allows Samuelsson to walk down the wall with space and find a little hole in Vasilevsky's RVH and ties the game. But the reason I called him Michael Samuelsson was because the great Ray Ferraro, when he's doing his color commentary talking about the goal, triples down on calling him Michael Samuelsson, and it was fun. We had a great time online, making jokes. I'm sure you saw the graphic next to me, and if you're this far in, you definitely saw it. But, Samuelsson continues his just career year. Career year just feels like an insult with the progression we've seen from him, just with the eye test, but also stat-wise, because he gets his 10th goal here. We have a scoreless second period, so the Sabres, another game, tie game going into the third. Another game, it's every game for a Sabres fan right now is you're watching to the end. It's a full, you don't have a night off. Every game is close, every game is competitive, and they're keeping it there. They're playing great against top teams. It feels like they're playing top teams every night because the Atlantic is basically that right now. But going in third period, tied, 1-1. Mattias Samuelsson again. He gets his 11th goal of the season. It's incredible how he's doing this. Again, he gets a couple seconds to charge up his wrist shot, and he scores. It gets a little deflection off the Tampa player. But another goal from the Sabres where it starts in their D zone. Jack Quinn is in his own corner, bumps it up. Ryan McLeod, who draws players in the neutral zone, and that allows Mattias Samuelsson to find the soft spot on his zone entry, or on a breakout basically up the middle. And it's a 1-on-4 for Mattias Samuelsson. They somehow back off the best shooter in the NHL, and he makes him pay for it. Puts the Sabres in lead 2-1. It doesn't last too long. Tampa ties it, 2-2 on the power play. Another, I think it's 4 straight games the Sabres PK has given up a goal. Something to note, the Sabres PK, first half of the season, their number one best asset. Recently, they are giving up goals. Just a little bit here. This one comes, you have two guys going to block a shot from your forwards. That leaves a 2-on-1 in front of the net. Owen Power has to pick one of the guys off the rebound because he can't see it. He picks the wrong guy. Open man for rebound. Tie game. Whatever. Happens. The Sabres, though, that's kind of an issue we're going to see later. It's just not being able to get a block shot. Would love for them to get it, but I also want them to stay healthy at this point. If you had two options in front of me, that they block that shot but someone gets hurt, or they don't block and they give up a goal and still get a point in Tampa, I'm taking that second option. It's probably not competitive as it sounds, taking that second option. But again, only one game to the Olympic break, so we'll see how that goes. But the Sabres have a tie game. 2-2, half the third period left. What are they going to do? Their power play, they get one with 7 minutes to go. Their power play for the second straight game scores. Their power play for the second straight game gets them a late goal, a big one, where you have Josh Stone with a backdoor tapping off a great feed from Tage Thompson. And this power play is finding its rhythm too. While the PK is kind of shriveling up a little bit, just a little bit, the power play is stepping up when they need them most. This power play had so much ice tilt here where the puck, I don't think, left the zone once. You had so much time. The Sabres, I give them credit. You look at these guys that have been in the NHL for a while now. They shrunk the zone. They had a bit of an overload where they, were just moving the puck. They were getting their pucks there, and Tampa was so tired. And I give credit to Tage Thompson for hanging on, for Josh Stone for hanging on, getting his stick, and body in the lane just enough where he can get that backdoor, tap in deflection in. And And all of a sudden, the Sabres have a lead with 5 minutes to go. It's a great feeling. The big question is, can they hang on to it? We've seen the Sabres survive throughout, the course of the Jarmo era on that model. Surviving. We haven't really seen them, give up that late lead and lose because of it. In my mind, I'm thinking of back in the Kevin Adams era when the win streak first started, Game 1 in Edmonton, where they blew a 3-0 third period lead. They gave up a goal with a second left, but they win in overtime. Would this be a similar thought? No, because in case you couldn't tell, the Sabres gave up that goal with 25 seconds left. And the tough part is, Peyton Krebs gets put on the first line tonight, which is good. I want the Sabres to reward their guys for playing well. He had a 3-point night last night in Florida, 1 goal, 2 assists. He played phenomenal. Tonight he kind of cost the Sabres at the end where the Sabres are surviving. They're trying to survive this, 5-on-6 from Tampa Bay. And Colton Ellis is making, all the saves. He's trying to right now. The Sabres are they're grasping onto life. They're hanging on as hard as they can. Puck goes into the corner. Peyton Krebs' role in this, he just can't let that pass go all the way across the ice. I talked last game for you diehards at home of that Royal Road. Percentages go up a lot when you get that puck from one side to the other. Peyton Krebs right there, all I want him to do is not let the pass go all the way across the ice from the corner to Nikita Kucherov, of all people on the ice. Nikita Kucherov is the one guy I don't want to see have the puck, especially when the pass goes through your entire 5-on-6, your grouping right there. I want Alex Tuch to take that bumper guy, which he did. Krebs' role, don't let anything through there. Pass gets through, it goes up to the point, shot, Tuch doesn't get the block, back of the net, tie game. That's a tough one. A lot of things happen there where if the Sabres, if they're able to control a rebound, get a whistle, get fresh guys out, that could have helped. They don't get that pass through from Krebs, that would help. If they get that block from Tuch, that would have helped. They don't get it. And you want to take these as learning moments. That Montreal game, hopefully some learning moments. That Florida game, some learning moments. Hopefully this is another one where now you need to realize against one of the top teams in the NHL, the only team in the NHL that has a better point percentage since December 9th than the Buffalo Sabres is Tampa Bay. So when you're playing one of those top teams, how are you going to do? What are you going to do to win? Now they know under a minute, you got to sell out like no way you could ever imagine. So we're going to hopefully store this information. Hopefully we can circle back to this thought come, April, maybe May. I would only hope we can. And we can see the Sabres, selling out in those moments. Obviously, I know the regular season is different than the postseason. I would hope I would know that, but it's been 14 years. But anyways, the Sabres go into overtime 3-3, and it was kind of a melancholy thought. How I started the show of, they got 3 of 4 on the Florida trip, at least spare minimum. And that kind of sucks the way it happens. I don't care about going to overtime with Tampa. I'm not too concerned with the 1 seed. I will admit, I wouldn't be unhappy if the Sabres got the 1 seed. I'd actually be pretty thrilled. But I'm not worried about giving the Tampa Bay Lightning points. It's, not my biggest concern. Teams like Ottawa, who are on a run right now, I'd be concerned. Columbus is right in the mix. Washington, every team in the East is winning games somehow. Every night I look at the scores, every team in the East is always winning somehow. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it keeps happening. And anyways, we're getting to overtime. This was such a fun overtime where if you're just a casual fan, this is the best overtime you could ask for. Both teams were swinging for the fences, line rushes, going for goals anytime they could. Because a lot of times right now, overtime's gotten to the point where it's a little too corporate. That's probably the best way I can phrase it, where teams are just hanging on to possession. It's too commercialized, where it's gotten to the point where it's you got to do X, Y, and Z. They're going to worry about puck possession. You got to win the faceoff. You're going to hang on to it. If you're tired, you're going to get out of the zone. You're going to get fresh bodies, and you're going to score. But you're not going to give the puck up. This game was not that. This overtime was not that. And that's kind of the Sabres' detriment to the end, where they're trading chances. Dahlin has a few great looks in overtime. He can't get it. Ellis is making saves. But you have, the end here. I'm going to talk about this ending here. You have a minute to go in overtime. You have Dahlin, Tuch, and Krebs on the ice. You put Krebs out again. good. I want you to reward your guys. He had some chances in the game. He had a backdoor that from Samuelson that he missed earlier. Forgot to bring that up. That would have been great. And yeah, so you get to that overtime. But before those guys are out there too, you have Jack Quinn going in on a line rush. He gets brought down. No call. I get it's overtime. But for a play that, like, it looked egregious. I didn't see a replay of Quinn being brought down, but live didn't look great. For a chance that, like that, maybe. I wouldn't be mad if it was flipped around and the Sabres got a penalty for that. They'll be like, yeah, you just hauled a guy down in overtime with a scoring opportunity. That's going to be a penalty. But they don't get one. Whatever. I'm not going to complain about officiating. It's just something to talk about. Here we are talking about it. But back to those three guys. Tuch, Krebs, Dahlin. They're out there. Krebs is out there. I'm like, okay, it's interesting they put Krebs out there, but, Lindy keeps proving me wrong with my thoughts. Every time I think a bad thought about what Lindy Ruff's doing, it works every time. So I'm following Lindy to the end of the earth. I have no reason to doubt him. But the thing that's frustrating here is you have those three guys. By the time this goal goes in, Tuch and Krebs were out there for 45 seconds each, Dahlin for over a minute. These guys had opportunities to get off. The puck is deep in the Tampa Bay zone. This puck goes from the Sabres end to Tampa zone, and I need someone to get off the ice. I need some fresh legs. No one gets off. Dahlin's, the farthest man in. He's Rasmus Dahlin. Go for it. When you have two other forwards out there, they've been out there for let's say 40 seconds at this point. One of you has to get off. It's overtime. You're moving. Like, that's a good time for a 5-on-5 shift, let alone 3-on-3 overtime. Get off. Especially you're not Tage Thompson. You can get off. But they stay out. And they stay out, and Jake Guentzel gets behind. And he has an opportunity to be sent, about 3 seconds before he actually does. Dahlin does a great job of breaking up an initial pass. Tuch and Krebs are still puck watching at the top of the zone while Jake Guentzel's so far behind them. The bench is probably yelling. The bench is right there. They're still puck watching. Eventually, Tampa gets a right on Guentzel's stick, who scores on a breakaway. And that's just a frustrating part because that's such a simple thing that can be fixed. You can't be out for that long in overtime. If you are, you can't let someone behind you, especially with both your forwards there, doing the same role of hanging out in the top of the zone, doing nothing. You have Dahlin on a 1-on-2, in zone. You should see, okay, there's only 2 Tampa players that I can see right now. That means there's got to be at least one behind me. That thought, if it crossed their mind, no action comes of it because that pass obviously goes there. Guentzel scores the overtime winner, and the Sabres have 3 or 4 on the Florida trip. So it's, folks, now I'm mad that they lost this game after being kind of content to start of the 3 or 4. Those mistakes at the end. I don't want to just put it on Krebs' shoulders because I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. But to have little mistakes like that in the end of the third period in overtime, where Lindy does a good job of putting guys out in the end who he trusts. Those mistakes though can't happen. Or it's not like the Sabres got puck lucked out of this loss. They couldn't get out of the third there. Get that pass all the way across, goes up, can't get a block in the back of the net. Overtime, I explained that to death. You already heard that. But folks, I can't stay mad when the Sabres team is playing the way they are. I can't do it. I'm trying to. They're getting to the point where I feel like I want to, but they got 3 or 4. They have a big game Thursday at home before the Olympic break, and it sucks for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who was announced he can't play in the Olympics with his lower body injury, so it sucks for UPL. We obviously heard the reports how important this was. Duh, it's the Olympics. So I'm hoping, he can come back after the break healthy, make this Sabres team, great on this run, this final stretch after the Olympic break. But they have Pittsburgh at home Thursday. If you're local and still watching, thank you. We'll be live before the game, 5:30. We got a little change of plans. We'll be live at Sandbaggers in Hamburg. We'll be live at Sandbaggers in Hamburg. So be there, show up. If you see me there, say hi. I'll get you a couple beers on me and go to the game after. It'll be a fun time. Sabres, Penguins Thursday. The Sabres have a chance in this last week here to get 5 out of 6 points. That would be a great thing. You can only see what happens. But folks, let me know your thoughts on this game. Are you mad the Sabres lost tonight? Are you content because they got 3 of 4? Look at the bigger picture. They get 3 of 4. The next 2 game stretches all the way to the season ends. We're talking playoffs, obviously. So let me know your thoughts on this team, on this game, what you thought went wrong for them, why they didn't get all 2 tonight. And again, thank you so much. If you're still watching, thank you. It means a lot to me. Comment your thoughts. I love getting back to you guys. It means a lot. But yeah, if you're still watching, like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, just please. It helps me out. Makes me feel better. And I need to feel better after the Sabres didn't get 2 points tonight. So please. But folks, I will see you all on Thursday with hopefully a Sabres win at home. And it'll be a while from that time. So folks, thank you again. As always, I'll see you all Thursday. Let's go Sabres.